Why? Why did you go to a therapist? Why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you talk to one of your friends? And I'm like, no. I would like to speak to somebody who will show me a mirror, because our people will always be on our side. It's okay to have people who like you, and there's okay to have people who don't like you, and you can't, even if you're Shah Rukh Khan, there'll be people who like you and there'll be people who don't like you. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can.
With everything.
With everything in life.
How do you keep looking better and younger and fitter and more vital every day?
The first part is, I put out this intent that today, regardless of what lies ahead, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
I choose to be happy.
Yeah.
Happiness is a choice. It doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. With grief, there are no shortcuts. The only way to the other side, the only way out is through. And grief comes in waves. You can have a six-pack and you can be in the best physical shape of your life. But if you're not okay here,
That's it.
none of it counts for anything.
Anything.
I've grown so much because of all the therapy. The one trigger I still have. And
My guest today is an actor, an anchor, author, fitness icon, and my best friend. So, ladies and gentlemen, a big welcome to the one, the only Mandira Bedi. Welcome.
out of all those words, I like my best friend the
That
best.
is the one that matters the most. And this has been so long coming. 22
Yes.
years we've talked about doing this.
Yes.
So for us to be sitting here today, that itself feels like the full circle. So welcome to this session with the full circle.
Yeah, 22 years of speaking nonsense to each other.
Complete, with full of
And
insults.
and on the 22nd year, we talk some sense to each other.
Finally, yeah.
How about
please.
that?
And to the world.
At some point, we grow up, right?
Yes, still work in progress. So what's keeping you sane these days?
What's keeping me sane? A lot of work that I've done in the past keeps me sane. My work that I do
Yeah.
for a living, that keeps me sane. It's my purpose. My children keep me sane. My dog keeps me sane.
That's a big one.
The love in my life.
The small dog, but with a big role.
He's got big. He fills very big boots. The love that I get, I am blessed with a lot of love from a lot of people. That keeps me sane. And every day is a different kind of day, and there's different levels of sanity. And some days I'm feeling great about life and it looks like everything's in flow, and sometimes things look a little awry, but that's how life is.
Absolutely.
But generally speaking, these are the things
All
that
is
keep me
well
sane.
right
All is
now.
well.
Yeah, you've
All
landed
is
in a good
well.
place. And
I've landed, and I try my best to live in the moment. I try my best to live with gratitude, in a state of, thankfulness and love. And that's generally how I like to keep myself going.
and it's been quite a journey. And like I was telling you, we were just holidaying. We were in Rome with the
yes.
families.
For his 50th birthday,
For my
by
50th
the way.
birthday, by the way. I
Old
don't
man.
look it, but
Old man. Anyway.
Yeah. And then we were in Jaipur for holiday, and I've been reflecting, and we've been spending so much time now in Bombay, and I haven't seen you this balanced, this relaxed in the last 22 years. So you are actually in the best place as far as your mind is concerned, your health is concerned. Yesterday we were at a cafe and people walked up and said, how do you keep looking better and younger and fitter and more vital every day? What's going on there?
So firstly, this is because it's the podcast. He never says things like this to me
Ever.
in real life.
I'm being so sweet and so kind.
I'm sure you mean them a little bit, so
I
you're
do mean
saying
all
it.
of it. I do mean all of it. But I want people to know. I want them to understand what's going on. How are you keeping this going? Like so much vitality, energy, positivity.
So,
what's going on with this?
Okay, we talked about the work. You have a lot to do with it. Everybody knows him as Satya. I know him as Ron, because I've known him for 22 years.
And what do I know you as?
Bedi, but
Bedi.
that's a story for another day.
That's a story for another day. So
Yeah.
I'll refer to you as occasionally as Mandira.
Oh gosh.
Oh my God. Yeah,
That's
I have to
weird.
follow it.
No, but you have had a lot to do with it, because you've seen me over these years. It's been 22 years, and I've had a lot of anger in me, and I've expressed my anger a lot, and I've been an angry person. The two of us wrote a book together called Happy for No Reason, but honestly, back in the day, I could have written a book called Angry for No Reason.
Snappy for no reason.
Snappy for no reason, angry for no reason, because I had a lot of anger in me.
Yeah.
And I think the first part is awareness, knowing that there's something in you that's amiss and that needs some work. A lot of people go through lives completely unaware, completely in a state of, delusion about themselves. So I knew I had anger. I knew my anger needed to be addressed. We've discussed a lot of issues in my life with a lot of anger in me. So I felt I needed to do something about it. And I went to a therapist for the first time 21, 22 years ago.
Yes.
And that was, I had only
Wasn't
one.
that hypnotherapy?
No.
No. Okay.
The first one was a therapist because, and the only therapist I had on my phone, and that too because I had interviewed her for a show I had done. And I said, you know what, something's amiss and I want help and I want to go to the right person. So I've been doing therapy from way back when. And honestly, it was hypnotherapy that helped my anger because it takes you to certain places and it's not like what people think it is where you're lying on a couch and there's somebody with a pendulum and you've got googly eyes and you're on some other planet.
You've got googly eyes anyway.
I've got googly eyes anyway, but your eyes are closed and you're taken to a very, very relaxed state and you're taken to certain times in your life where certain things have happened which you've kind of held on to, certain things have happened which you haven't processed. And I had a lot of that. And I'd like to say I had a very, happy childhood, which I guess I did on the surface of it. But a lot of things as a young child. Yes, a very disciplined childhood. And as a small child, I held on to certain things and I didn't let go of them and I needed to process them at this age, So as a grown-up, I needed to, as we all do, that's right. So I think it was hypnotherapy that helped me let go of a lot of unresolved stuff in my life. And I've done all kinds of therapy. I've done, the clinical kind of therapy. I've gone to a psychologist. I've gone to a spiritual therapist. I've gone to a hypnotherapist. I've done it all. And I think hypnotherapy is the one that really helped me.
That helped you.
That helped me get to the other side. I went for two things. I went for anger and my addiction to sugar.
That's another subject. I have witnessed recently also in Rome what happened with
But then I give it up.
Galaxy chocolates.
Correct.
About 25 of them.
25 of them.
And then I give it up. And then you clean up for the next 3 days and you're back.
I'm back. So
that's a good one to talk about. Let's go back to the anger thing, And I remember you always had these big announcements you would call. We talk every day.
Yes, every single day.
Yes. And we catch up.
So it's funny that you're doing an interview because you know everything about my life, but sure.
This is in public interest.
Yes.
People want to know. India wants to know.
Oh, okay.
The world wants to know.
Yeah, people don't believe that I've been an angry person, that I've had a lot of anger, that I had anger issues. When I tell people that, they're like, no. You exude positivity and you are a positive person.
You would get bursts and then you would call and say, Pran, I have decided from today I'm giving up anger. And I would be like, okay, let's see how that goes. Because that was not the right approach, right?
But I must tell you something. So I used to have this habit of giving up, manoing a mannat and giving up sugar and giving up, soft drinks and giving
mangoes
up things,
one time.
Mangoes, giving up things I liked. I've given up non-vegetarian food for life because I manoed a mannat. And my brother told me something which kind of resonated with me. He says, you keep giving up things for people and for things to happen. And you mano these mannats. But that benefits no one. It benefits you, maybe. But I'm just saying, you'll give up sugar or
finding
give up
a higher purpose.
So he says, why don't you give up something that benefits others also? And I'm like, what would really benefit others if I give up being angry? And I tried it for this 1 month. And whatever happened, nothing could faze me. Whatever happened, I didn't lose my cool. Whatever happened, I was in a state of, okay, can handle, we'll do this, it's okay. And that 1 month became 2 months became 3, and it was a really very beautiful, joyful period in my life. And then, of course, some things got to give, and there were situations that did warrant anger and took, like a rubber band, it burst or it snapped. But those 3 months, I'll never forget. I was even hosting this event for a tire company that I do a lot of work with called BKT Tires, and they're very nice people. That was the first time I did an event for them. And I was standing on top of a humongous off-roader truck. Truck tire. I was standing on a tire and hosting that event. I had sweat trickling. It was in Bhuj. I had sweat trickling down my neck. And I'm holding this mic and I'm talking about tires. And while I was doing this, and I was in this phase of having given up anger, I thought to myself, I said, who gets an opportunity to do something like this? To stand on a tire and talk about tires. And I made something of that moment, and it didn't matter how hot it was.
That was
I
a
had a
turning
lovely
point
audience.
for you.
It was a turning point for me.
I remember the conversation.
And there were these people sitting in the audience, a lovely audience, an international audience that come from, because they export their tires, had come from all over the world. I finished speaking, they would clap. I pointed to a certain direction to turn their attention there, and they would turn and look with awe and wonder. And I was like, what a lovely audience. What an amazing event. Who gets a chance to do something like this? And honestly, because I did it with so much passion and love and joy and wonder, the gentleman who owns the company, he met me at the airport. He says, I've never had anybody speak about tires the way you did, with so much joy and so much wonder
and passion.
Enthusiasm and passion. And I'm like, yes, because I was just feeling it at the time.
There you go.
And that started a relationship with this company. And I've done close to 30 events for them over the years. And they love and respect me, and I love and respect them. And it was all because I felt joyous about what I was doing, and I was feeling joy from within, from my heart, and it turned out so well, right?
Yeah, they're still not tired of you.
They're still not good one.
Tired joke. Yeah, but I remember that incident.
So that was one part of it. So I gave it up for a little while. It worked out really well for me. It was wonderful though, and it was not 1 month; it was 3 months. And I've tried to give it up for a month like that.
We still talking about anger, by the way.
Yes, anger, not chocolates, not sugar, but anger. But I knew I had to find a more permanent solution, which is why I went and did the hypnotherapy, which is why I dealt with a lot of small little moments in my life, which were significant, not that small, where I needed to process some stuff and let go of some stuff, and I did, and that kind of really helped me. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean I do not ever get angry. There are certain situations that do warrant, me getting upset. But that time, of sticking with it and not letting go, that has kind of.
And also how your response has changed. I think that's the main learning from trying to deal with anger, and a lot of people will relate to this, because almost every human being gets angry. Some deal with it differently, some don't. I mean, some have, and some people can hold on to that anger for days. And
that time to come back to your equilibrium has come down to this.
And finally, there is no time lapse. You see it in the moment.
I see it in the moment.
I have a choice at this very moment whether I choose to be angry and negative and heavy for the...
You always have a choice. Happiness is a choice.
There you go.
I wake up every morning. We wrote this book called Happy for No Reason. I wake up every morning. I can't say that every single day I'm
exuberant
and joyous all
like
the time. But I wake up in the morning, every morning before I open my eyes, I say a prayer of gratitude. I say thank you for the roof over my head, the food on my table, my children's health, my parents' health, my able body, the work that I get. Then I open my eyes and I put out this intent that today, regardless of what lies ahead, regardless of the fact that I have a work thing today, or I don't have a work thing today, or today is a holiday after many days, or that my children are doing something special today, or I'm doing something special, regardless of what lies ahead today, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
I choose to be happy.
Yeah.
Happiness is a choice.
And this, in your case, I know it to be true because, we say these things also. Like, I wake up with the sense of gratitude. Oh, I wake up with a prayer. But you are a person of tremendous discipline. Okay, that's one of your things, right? You really have, like, you set your mind on something, and you, to a fault, literally, you are so disciplined about things. So I know you do this. Like, you really, which brings me to, also, I've noticed that you're one person who loves stacking habits. You pray and you exercise together, right? I don't know how many people know this.
Yes.
And when years ago, when I noticed that, I used to be judging that a little bit. I said, "Ye kaisa prayer? What kind of prayer is this?" Like, her mind is neither in the exercise nor in the prayer. And then I used to watch you, and I realized how regular, how consistent you are with that. Tell us about that. What is going on there?
So I do about 25 minutes of prayers, and it's a mix of prayers and some affirmations and some, it's about 25 minutes long.
Every single day.
Every single day. I do it when I'm either walking or exercising, even when I'm lifting weights. I feel also I'm the highest version of myself when I'm exercising. So when you're the highest version of yourself, if you're praying along with it, I am immersed. There's no other thought
Zero
but my
distraction,
prayer and the weights I'm lifting. And I never, I don't believe in reps. I have a timer. So the timer is telling me how many times, like how much I have to go on. So it's a wonderful combination of things. And can I tell you something really funny? So if I ever am saying my prayers at rest, I can't do it. My heart rate goes up. My heart rate goes up, and I need to start walking because I've made that. So what happens?
Just become one,
they become one. And what happens is I never miss my prayers, so I never miss my exercise, and I never miss my exercise, so I never miss my prayers.
Yeah.
So I work out or do some form of activity every
So you
single
clubbed
day.
two of the most important things in
to
your
me.
day. Yeah.
They're the two most important things to me that need to get done. I wouldn't even call it something that's a checklist that I need to get done. It's something that's a part of me.
Yeah.
So activity is a part of me. Prayer is a part of me.
Yeah.
It's not on my list. It's something
and
that's...
you travel like crazy, and there's so many times I'm talking to you in the night, you're on a flight back, you're on 2 hours of sleep, you're running on empty. But the next morning, be it at a hotel, be it at home.
I'll walk in the corridor of the hotel.
You run in
my living room.
You can do it here actually. I know you'll be able to kind of jump over things and do a little jog.
I run in my living room. I run in my hotel room. I work out in my hotel room. I work out on the hotel corridor. I walk around a swimming pool. I don't necessarily...
And you make do with whatever is there. That's also some philosophy you had back in time. What you used to talk about that, start where you are.
Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can.
There you go.
Yeah. So
say that again.
Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can.
With everything in life.
With everything in life. So with exercise, exercise never gets missed, because you know what? I've added a new thing to my, as of 29th, a couple of days ago. I just felt there's certain body parts where I really need to just do an exercise every day for. So I've added these 4 exercises, regardless of what my workout is going to be in the day. These 4 exercises are going to be included. They're going to be air squats. Doesn't need any equipment. Tricep dips, you can do it on any chair.
You made me do that this morning.
I made you do it this morning.
I'm feeling it.
Tricep dips. Standing abs, and Superman, which is my favorite exercise for the back, where you lie on your stomach and you do this swimming motion, and it kind of covers your whole body, and it's 20 minutes. And this 20 minutes, you can get done anywhere. You don't need the place for it. You don't need the equipment for it, and it covers what I want to cover. And I'll do it for, let's say, 100 days and see how I feel and see what it does for me.
This is the other thing also. I've noticed that you always set these for a normal person, a 100-day commitment is a big deal, right? But you always do that. You just finished a 75
I've done 365.
hard.
I've done 75 hard. 75 hard was harder than the 100 days thing. Because 100 days, I said I'm going to do 100 days of exercising, where I need to burn this many calories or do this many steps. Easy. 100 got over, and I'm like, you know what? 100's gotten over. Let me now just extend this onwards to 365. And 365 went by like a breeze. I managed. Either 10,000 steps or 11,000 steps. I can't remember what it was. Or 400 calories active calorie burn. And I managed that.
Right.
So 365 happened without a problem. 75 hard was a little bit difficult, because you have to do, there were a couple of rules which I never made, right? So it's like 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes each. 1 has to be outdoor. 1 diet plan, no workout, no cheat days, no sugar, no alcohol. You had to read 10 pages of a motivational, inspirational book or an autobiography, non-fiction. You had to drink a gallon of water, which I kind of didn't do because my body can't take a gallon of water a day. I did 3 liters of water a day. And that was it. So
I remember you started it when you were visiting us in Denmark.
That's right. And there was a storm on, may I tell you. 1st of January in Denmark, in Copenhagen, there was a storm. And I put on 4 layers of clothing plus a raincoat, and I had this rain stinging my face, and I'm walking against the wind, and I'm asking myself, why am I doing this again?
And why am I starting now?
Why am I starting today? But I'd planned it because, you see, it was your birthday in the middle of March, and I wanted to enjoy myself.
We timed it perfectly in Rome, and we had a drink together.
Yes, we
did. That was beautiful. So and I want to connect all of this, this whole exercise side of things, because that's such an integral part of you.
Yes.
But it is always connected to your mental health. Because they kind
But
of...
I also want to
don't
say
think-
something
yeah.
more about exercise is, it's this, that a lot of people today in the world of social media, they exercise and put out videos for the sake of the world to see. See, I'm this.
That
I'm a
was my
fitness.
next question coming.
I'm a
actually,
fitness
yeah.
influencer. I'm a so and so. I'm so fit. I want to show you the workout I do. I've done that. I've done all of that. But to keep it going and to stay consistent and to stay on course and to keep on at it, even when nobody's watching.
That's what I was getting at. Like, what does resilience look like when no one's watching? When you don't have to pose, when you don't have to post, and you don't have to look cute, and you don't have to do anything, but you're just doing it with that focus.
Because you're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it for yourself.
Authenticity.
This is a gift I'm giving myself. This is a gift I'm giving my future self. During the 75 Hard, I heard so many podcasts, and I was consuming so much fantastic content. And there's this lady, she's the aging doctor. I can't remember her name, but that's what the title of the podcast was, where she addresses how important it is to lift weights, how important it is to do cardio, and what it does. Over the years, we've changed so much. What our grandparents looked like when they were 80, vis-a-vis what our parents look like when they are 80, vis-a-vis what we will look like when we are 80. And all of that, it changes because of what we are doing right now. In our 30s and our 40s and our 50s, we are giving ourselves a gift, which will
investment.
It's an investment. We're giving ourselves a gift for when we are 60 and 70 and 80. We will be so much more active. We will look different. We will be different. We will be
more alert.
Mentally, emotionally, physically in a different place from what our parents were and from what our grandparents were. So the thing is, these are the things we do when nobody's watching. We're doing it for ourselves. We're not doing it for social media. We're not doing it for our kids. In some sense, I'm doing it for my kids because I want to. When my daughter is my age, I adopted my daughter. So she's a little girl. She's 8-9 years old. And I want to see her when she's my age. I want to be fully alert, and I want to be fully nagging her, and I want to be fully telling her what to do. Even at my age, like my mom does to me.
She's watching this.
Yeah, she's watching this.
Yeah, your mom is also, but auntie is reached 80 now?
Yeah, she would not like it.
No, sorry, delete. Auntie is evergreen. Auntie doesn't age.
In fact, whenever we celebrate any of our like landmark birthdays, we only call them landmark birthdays. We don't call them, we don't give it a number.
But she's doing great.
So
is your dad. And she's fit and fine, playing his golf every day.
Yes.
Your brother is also into fitness.
Yes.
And
I want to be lifting weights when I'm 80.
There you go.
That's not going to stop.
And people might be wondering why we are talking so much about exercise. I mean, that's a big part of your identity. But that is, I've seen you always connect that. For you, I don't think physical, mental health are not separate at all. They have always
they're interconnected. But having said that, there was a time when things were not feeling right, or if I was not feeling good, I'd go for a run and I'd run it off, or go for a workout and the endorphins would kick in, and everything would be hunky-dory and fantastic. But that's not that. Sometimes there are things that bother you. Sometimes there are things that, that are bigger than just walking it off or running it off, which is where you need to. Mental health has changed so much over the years. The first time I went to a therapist 22 years ago, and I told my mom, you know what? I just met a therapist. I told her after the event, why? Why did you go to a therapist? Why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you talk to one of your friends? And I'm like, no. I would like to speak to somebody who will show me a mirror. I would like to speak to somebody who will give me a perspective. Somebody is equipped to help me.
And objective.
Someone who can also call a spade and tell it like it is in a gentle manner, but tell it like it is. Because our people will always be on our side. Will always tell us, he was wrong or she was wrong, and it was that person's fault.
And because they've got your back, they want you to feel good.
And it's very important. And this is what I feel even with you, Ron. You show me the mirror. You tell me like it is. You tell it like it is. And there's certain things I need to be told. There's certain things I need to course correct. And if, and I am learning. Sometimes it takes me a while to accept
digest it,
swallow that bitter pill, process it. But process it I will. process it, I will.
And
So-
that's been also a big fundament of our friendship, that we
Yes.
tell each other
And I
things.
tell you too, huh? I
mostly
put him in his
almo-
place a few times,
Yeah.
and he should be told where to get off also.
Yeah.
You know, here's where you get, this is your stop, buddy.
Yeah, but that's also been
But you know,
that honesty in the-
you
in
were
the-
talking about
yeah.
physical health. Sorry to interrupt you, but here's the thing. You know, you can have a six pack, and you can be in the best physical shape of your life. But if you're not okay here,
that's it.
none of it counts for anything.
Anything.
So it is very, very interconnected. It is it's like this. Physical health is one part of it, and if exercise can do it for you, and you have a few issues which can just be worked
Smooth
off with
down,
a little bit of a workout and a little bit of a run or something like that, good for you.
Yes.
But if you need more, please address it. Please go and speak to somebody. Now on my phone, I talked about my mom who said, why did you go to a counselor? Now cut to a
20
year
years
or two ago, she said, Mandu, one of my friends, she's not in a good place and she really needs help. Can you give me the name of a counselor or a therapist? And I said, what do you want? Spiritual? You want clinical? You want, hypnotherapist? Tell me. I've got a couple of numbers. I've got 20 numbers on my
5
phone.
of each. Yeah.
So
You do.
yeah.
Anyway, so coming back to...
And when in doubt, you can come to Ron. Ron will always he'll
there,
always sort you.
for everyone. Yeah. But
And he always has the time. The best thing about him is
I don't have all the time. I have time for you, because
One
otherwise
second.
you're gonna give
he
me
makes
a tough
time
time.
for everyone. He makes time for people in my home, my staff. He makes time for, my brother if he needs help. He makes time for my mother if she needs help. He makes time for my friends who, all love him. So he makes time. And it's amazing how a person can make time for so many people and be connected and there to help so many people. Again, I'm saying this only because it's a podcast, and I'm not going to say it to your face again.
I know.
So just understand.
I'm receiving. Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, receive it. It's
yeah.
all, your birthday month is over.
Over, yeah. It's all love. Your birthday month is coming. We are on now.
Bring it.
We gotta be nice to you. Coming to a topic that you haven't talked much about in public the last 4 years, and you know what I'm getting to. We all have gone through a huge loss in our lives with Raj leaving us. What has been the journey since then till now?
Well, yes, I haven't talked about it too much, but you have been a part of that journey with me every step of the way, literally from the moment it happened. There's something you said to me which has stayed with me, and whenever I speak to anybody who has experienced any kind of loss, I pass it on. The thing is, there are no shortcuts. With grief, there are no shortcuts. The only way to the other side, the only way out is through. And I can say it now without completely breaking down, because I've gone through that journey. I'm still going through that journey in some senses. Certain triggers that still, that are hard for me. But that first year, and that first year is where the first of everything, the first birthday, the first anniversary, the first Diwali. Raj loved Diwali. The first Christmas, the first New Year, they're all really hard. The first of everything is where you sit in your room and you shut the door and don't want to talk to anybody, and you cry. And you cry and you cry till you can't cry anymore. And I tell you this with Veer. Veer is the one who, Tara didn't know him well enough. Tara knew him for just 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
Veer had a very, very strong bond with Raj. And Veer used to keep telling me, and he used to feel so sad and he used to cry. And I never once told him, don't cry. Boys, don't cry. That's all crap. I've always told him, cry. As much as you feel like crying, cry. Let it out. Let those tears out, because post that you'll feel lighter. You will feel lighter. When you have a good cry, you feel lighter. And the more you think about him and the more you get those emotions out, the sooner we'll be able to get to a place where we remember him with joy, where we remember him with a
That's the
smile
one.
on our face. And now there are times where I have people over. I must tell you this. So the first year, everything was hard. The first Barsi, I had a puja because I thought, you know, I'm a Sikh, okay? So I know nothing about pujas. Whatever I've learned being married to him. So I did a 1 month puja, then I did a 1 year puja. I did all the ones after his passing, of course. And then after the 1 year puja, I decided I'm not going to mark this day anymore. Why should we remember this day? What is there to remember in this day? It's a sad day in our lives. Why should we remember this day? Instead, from the second year, every August 15th, which is his birthday, first I call his friends over for a puja, which happens at 11:30, 12, followed by a lunch. And the kind of lunch which Raj would have loved having with his favorite foods, all his favorite foods on the table. And it's the kind of Sunday afternoon, it's always a holiday. August 15th is always a holiday. It's the kind of Sunday afternoon lunch that he loved. That's how we celebrate him. We celebrate him. We celebrate him because, you know, he left a legacy. He used to keep saying, I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave a legacy. A legacy is the lives that he touched, the friends that he had, and the friends love him even now. So,
in fact, that was our obituary was about the legacy you left with the friendships and the love.
Yes. And we have this lunch to celebrate him, and we've reached that stage where we talk about him and we have a good laugh, we smile, we remember him well, we remember him fondly, and I think that's how you need to remember people who are you know who have been integral parts of your lives, rather than. And you know, I don't want to expose my children to it, but I remember that day and I feel sad and I feel, you know, the day he left us. I remember it, but I don't want my kids to remember it. What is there to remember on that day? I don't know why people mark a death anniversary. I don't understand.
Yeah, this is a beautiful thing to take out. And what's amazing to see how, because you allowed that free expression. I've seen Viru's journey through all of this as well, and I've seen your journey. And what a beautiful language that you guys have between you and Veer. The emotional language that you have, you've empowered him with that. Veer doesn't speak like any other child. You know, he has such a mature emotional language. He's allowed expression which is complete, and there's so much trust between the two of you regarding that. The words he uses, right? Yeah. So
and you know, it's, you know, I wish I had learned a lot of what I learned now in these last 10 years. I wish I'd learned it growing up.
Well, there's a
I
time
might have
for
been
everything.
there's a time for everything, of course. I mean, no, I have no regrets in life, but I'm just saying what I have learned in the last 10 years, I am passing on to my children. I teach them gratitude. Gratitude is the way I live. Gratitude is my superpower. So I make him understand how important it is to appreciate and give thanks and be grateful, because, you know, something, we have so much to be grateful for, the kids and I. And you know, okay, one more thing about Raj is every day in my 25 minutes of prayers, I say one prayer to him. I say Ho'oponopono to him, and I say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I say, I'm sorry for the hard times and the difficult times we had in our marriage. I'm sorry for the fights we had. Every marriage goes through that. Please forgive me. Thank you for our home. Thank you for our children. Thank you for this legacy. Thank you for the systems you set in place which still continue.
Work effortlessly. In the home. Yeah.
Thank you for your love. I love you. I miss you. I say that every single day, and that's a part of my prayer. I think of him well. I think of him with gratitude. I think of all that he did for us. Yeah. Our house is called Rama, Raj and Mandira.
And it's an institution.
I mean,
we don't say we are going to Mandy's house, we're going to Raja. We say we're meeting at Rama nights.
Rama nights.
Rama days, Rama nights.
And Rama nights have a certain magic to them. And when people come, they don't want to leave. And Raj was never one who would like to go out to restaurants or to, you know, night spots. For him, an ideal evening would be a night at home with friends over,
and
our bar
music and
open,
live
music
music
playing,
and-
and he'd be a part of it, and
Yeah.
he'd belt out music.
Till he would pass out on the sofa
And start
then
snoring.
and start snoring in the middle of the whole thing, and then get up and say, "Chalo, chalo, everyone, it's time to
Ab
go
chalo,
now.
ghar
Chalo.
ja."
Everybody leave now." That was it. That was
But I
Raj.
must tell you something. The one trigger I still have, and very recently I was at somebody's house, and they had a little live band, and some friends started playing some Kishore Kumar
That's
songs.
it. Yeah, that always got you, right?
And that always, I mean, that is such
You
a
couldn't listen to that music. I don't know whether you can now, but the first 3 years you could not. You would break down.
And
you cried.
till as recently as maybe 2 months ago, we'd gone to this person's house, and this music started, and all the songs that Raj loved were
listening
played,
to and singing. Yeah.
and he sang and he loved, and he would sing to me when they were being performed. I just had to excuse myself and say, I'm loving this evening, but I just need to go home.
And that
So-
will probably be like that. Yeah.
It'll be like that. I mean, Viru went to perform at
Events,
live venue,
yeah.
and then another bunch of performers came who started singing Kishore Kumar songs, and I said, "Okay, Veer,
Time to.
this
Yeah.
is our time to go."
Yeah.
And I've become better.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I've become better. I
Definitely,
can
yeah.
still maybe last 6 or 7 songs before I leave, before it would start, and I had to leave.
Yeah.
So
But you've
it
come
doesn't get.
along,
One second,
yeah.
I want to tell you something. It doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. You're able to deal with it.
That's the takeout, I think, in all this. It doesn't get easier, but you just get stronger. And I mean, full power to you. It's been a beautiful journey, and I tell friends that Raj was my best friend. And if this was anybody else who had passed along, the person who would be supporting me in that journey would have been you. You would have been the one I would have called all the time to. And I couldn't do that at that time, because I had to I was there for you. I was there for the children, and I had to process it myself. And now we can talk.
Yeah.
And now we can talk, and it's beautiful. So yeah, we've come a long way with this. Right? Anything about any misunderstandings around grief that you want to tell people to, like the myths about how to process grief and how to go through all this?
Well, the thing is, you can't distract yourself. You can't distract yourself. You can't say, you know what? I started working. I started working almost a month and a half, 6 weeks after. And you can say while you're busy with work that you know what, and grief comes in waves. Okay, so there are times when you're working and you're saying, "Wow, man, I'm so strong. I've got this," and then there can be and literally half an hour later there can be a trigger. There can be something. The first time for example, BKT company I worked with, I introduced Raj to the owner of BKT, and he made some beautiful films for BKT. And then after Raj passed, the first time I worked with BKT, I had to get my makeup done, and I sat in the room and I howled and I cried, and I felt so sad because they had such a wonderful connection. And even though that it was a connection I initiated,
just brought back
it
memories.
just brought back memories. So grief comes in waves. So one moment you think, I've got this. I've got this. I'm so strong. I've got this. And another moment you're just down to your knees. And you're vulnerable and exposed and raw, and you're feeling like 1 minute you feel like it happened just yesterday. So just with grief and with parting and with loss, there are moments you'll feel strong, and there are moments you'll
be on your knees.
You'll be
and like
weak,
this,
and you'll be sad, and you'll cry. So that's one thing. It comes and it goes, and it comes and it goes, and it comes and goes until at one point you can actually have a conversation with a smile on your face, and it's not that the missing isn't there. It's not that the void isn't there, but you're stronger.
It's exactly like this right now. You've got tears in your eyes. I can see that, but you're smiling.
Yeah,
This is it.
that's
Coming full circle.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.